What's up, guys? Captain Ron back with another video. Today we're going to cover something that's going to be a little controversial in the automotive industry. Some people say one thing, some people say another, but if you're going to be a technician, it's something you're going to have to know regardless. Now, we've already covered how to go about changing tires, how to balance tires in a previous video of mine. But what we're going to have to go over today is how to plug a tire. Not necessarily plug. Now, don't put me on the chopping block yet. I know some people say, oh, you don't plug tires, you only patch them. Some people say, oh, you don't do either and you replace them. But depending on the dealership, depending on where you're going to be working, you're going to have to do one of the two. So what we're going to do is, in the video today, I'm going to go over the procedure on how to plug a tire, how to patch a tire, and what to look for with tires to possibly sell or tell the customer, hey, you're just going to have to go out and replace it. So stay tuned. Alright, so as for our tire, this is just an old junk tire that we had here at the shop that I'm going to be using for demonstration purposes only. It will not be reused on a vehicle. It will not be used for any other purposes than going out to the tire pile outside to be destroyed or disposed of. But as you can see, we've got one screw here and we got one screw here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of them, we're going to plug it, we're going to patch the other one, and then we're going to go over some other stuff with another tire that came in to show you what happens to the inside of a tire whenever a customer has a flat or something like that, and what to look out for with letting them know that they need to replace their tire. So first things first, we're going to need to gather up our tools that we're going to need to be able to do the repair for the tire itself. If you're going to be plugging a tire, regardless of whether you're plugging or patching a tire, you're going to need some drill bits. You want to find one that is going to be about the same size as your plug, just a little bit smaller. So in this case, we've got a sorry about this, guys, 3/16 drill bit that we're going to use to kind of make the hole bigger so we can get our patched and plugged through it. You're also going to need to pick up your plugs, and you're also going to need to pick up your plug tools. Now, if you're using the drill bits, you're not going to be needing this piece right here. But if you don't have drill bits, this is what this is for. Basically, you'll take the screw out, you'll take this, and you'll basically go over to your hole and you'll just jam it in and out to kind of clean up the hole and make it a little bit bigger so that you can get your plug through it. And then you've got your plug tool here with this wacky adapter to it. I don't know what it's for, but I think the instructions say basically this keeps you from putting the plug in too deep. So we'll see how that works here in just a few minutes. So you got your plug tools, you got your plugs, drill bits, and drill if you have it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this screw out of this tire and we're going to plug it. Okay, so like I mentioned, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this screw out of the tire. So since I put these in here, I know exactly what size they are, but you can use whatever you need to, whether it be a set of side cuts, pliers. If you can get a drill and you can actually get it in there to pull it out, by all means use that, because that's less damage to the tire that you'll have to deal with. So once we get the screw out of there, we're going to flip over and use our drill bit. And again, like I said, we're doing the plugging first, so you're going to find your hole, which I lost. But if you have air in your tire, this is going to go a lot easier. Where did I put that? Bear with me, folks. There it is, right there. So you can find your hole, and you're going to drill down through, and just kind of give it a couple, 2 or 3 rings. And once you get that done, you're going to grab this tool right here, and you're going to put a plug in it. And I hope that you guys can see this. I'm sorry I don't have my camera crew with me today. We'll let them have the day off. So basically we're going to feed that through there. And I'm going to grab one tool to help me with getting that through there. Trust a pair of side cuts. So basically you're going to stick that through there, grab the other side, and you want to pull it through until you get to about the middle, just like that. Look, just like that. All right, and then what you do is come back over, you find your hole, which is right here. It was right here. There it is. Just line it up. And typically you have air in your tires, so this makes this a lot easier. Typically you have air in your tires, so this is going to make this a lot easier, because this one's collapsing on me. And if for whatever reason it doesn't want to go in, just get your drill and make your hole just a little bit bigger. All right, let's try this again. There it went. All right, so as you push it down in there, basically want to go until you have a couple tails left sticking out. Give this a twist, pull straight back out, and now you have your plug in there. I'm gonna take you guys over here so you can see. So there's your plug put in. And let me get some light real quick. And there is the plug on the other side. Now, once you guys get that on there, you're going to refill it with air. Once you get your plug in, you're going to take soapy water in a spray bottle, and you're going to spray this area down to look for a leak again. Now, if you get bubbles come up from that, that means the plug did not work, which means you're going to have to move on to the next step, which is you're going to have to try to patch it to see if that will work. If that doesn't work, then you're going to have to suggest to the customer, we are unable to repair this tire. You're going to have to get a new tire at that point. So just keep that in mind. So next step, we're going to go over and we're going to take the other screw out and we're going to patch this other hole. Side note that I forgot to mention while I was doing the video. This is not a permanent fix. By all means, is a plug or a patch a permanent fix to repairing a tire. Whenever you go to repair it, you want to make sure that you let the customer know this is a temporary fix to your problem with your tire. It will need to be replaced as soon as you possibly can. I don't want to sugarcoat that. I don't want people thinking that this is the end all be all and this will fix the tire until they need to replace it. No, this has to be replaced as soon as possible if they cannot replace it at that time. You always suggest the tire being replaced at the time of doing a patch, but not every customer is going to want to do so. So again, you let them know this is temporary, but it's going to have to be replaced at some point. So the starting process for patching a tire is pretty much the same as plugging a tire. Obviously, we got to get the screw out of here. So we're going to take the screw out, remove it from the vehicle, and we're going to open up that hole just a little bit more so we can get some room to work. Now you see me using a drill. Again, this kit came with one of these. You can use one of these as well. It's just a lot more effort to try to get this in here and get this wallered out like it's supposed to be. As you can see, just me trying to get this down in here. There's a lot of effort to do that. So if you've got drill bits, just use drill bits. It's a lot easier on you and it'll be a lot quicker. It's a time saver. So we're going to take this, we're going to open this up just a little bit, as much as we can to get that patch in there. And that should be good. So these patches come with this little spike and a rubber patch on the bottom of it. So this is going to go up on the inside of the tire, come through the top, pull through, and then we've got some adhesive that we got to put on the bottom. So let me get some stuff together and I'll show you how this works. So what I did is I went ahead and flipped the tire 180 degrees. So as you can see, here is our plug that we just did a few minutes ago. And here's our hole for our new hole to do the patch for. First thing you got to do is you got to clean up that underside of this area. So using a whiz wheel, we're just going to take this area, do it a lot better than what I'm doing, because I got to do this one-handed. Lord. All right, hang on a second. So basically what you're doing is you're going to take a whiz wheel and you're going to clean up this area all around this hole. So 1 second. So you need a set of side cuts or pliers to be able to pull the plug all the way through. I went ahead and did it because my camera failed, but we pulled it all the way through. Don't need that piece anymore. And as you can see, the tail of the plug is now sticking out of the tire. So let's flip back over to the other side. And as you can see, there's our plug, and it's flush with the tire. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take and we're going to put some rubber cement on this tire. And I'm going to turn this so you guys can see. So we're going to open up this can of cement here. I totally don't know if this aspect on the camera is going to work, and this may be just bad footage, but we're going to put some rubber cement under this. We're also going to peel off this white paper, which I forgot to do. I got ahead of myself. And this white paper is protecting these plug, because this plug has also got some stickiness on the back side of it as well. We're going to hold on to this piece because we still need it. But we're going to take the stickiness of the back side of the plug, along with this chemical contact stuff. We're going to brush as much of the underside of that as we can. And we're also going to put some over top of it. Just paint it on there. It's not going to worry if it's too thick or you don't want too thin, so more is better in this case. So we're just going to spread it all around that plug. Then take your piece of plastic, you're going to set that back on top. You're going to grab your little tool and you're going to go all over it, just back and forth. Of course, that one's just round up, so you got to put some good pressure to it, but you're going to go back and forth like this all around that edge. And basically what you're doing is trying to get that plug to seal to the plastic, or to seal, seal to the rubber, adhere to that rubber. Once you get it all nice and uniform as much as possible, you're going to take your rubber cement that you have again, and you're going to go over top that to reseal it. You want to make sure that thing is good and sealed, because we don't want any air to get back through, because then that just defeats the point of us even plugging it. So once you get done with that, you're going to put this back on the rim. You're going to put air back in the tire. And then you're going to check again for a leak. Make sure you don't have any air bubbles coming up from where this stem is. If you don't, then you've got a successful patch. And at that point, you can take a pair of side cuts and you can just snip that tail right off. Leaves a little bitty nub, and it should be good and patched. Now there's going to be times where customers are going to bring in a vehicle and it's going to have a puncture or a screw or something that's going to be on the sidewall or close to the sidewall of the tire. Good rule of thumb is that anywhere from a 1/2 inch to an inch close to the sidewall, that is not a repairable tire. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to tell them, unfortunately, where your patch or your plug needs to be is not a repairable spot on the tire, and you're unfortunately going to have to purchase a new tire at that point. Now, whether or not they want to do that, that entirely is up to them. They could say, throw my spare on and send me on my way, or you could be replacing a tire, which that's not too terribly bad either. That makes you money, and that also makes your shop money. So keep a lookout for those as well. Helps it focuses on me too. So another thing you guys need to look at whenever you guys are looking for preventative maintenance is doing a tire depth check to make sure that there's actual tread on the tire. But you want to take a look at the tire itself and make sure there's not any signs of, you know, people running them flat and driving on them or anything like that. So as a good example, had a tire come in, customer had a tire basically go flat on them as they were driving to work. To give you guys kind of a worst case scenario, here's what a tire is going to look like if you run it on no air whatsoever. So as you guys can see from this tire, it got ran flat. Matter of fact, it got ran so flat there was actual cuts put into the tire itself. So that's kind of a worst case scenario that's going to cause your flat to begin with. And this one actually looks pretty rough on the outside because of it. But regardless of whether it looks rough or it looks brand new, if it gets ran flat and the rim gets to it, you end up with problems like this. All of that is rubber. Nothing but cut up rubber. Inside of the wheel well, or inside of the tire well I should say, is completely cut up with huge gouges, and even in some spots there's cord showing. So it doesn't matter if a customer has ran it flat and the outside looks good or the outside looks like this, you're always going to have some sort of damage to the inside of the tire. So make sure you pay attention to that. If you see any sign of a run flat issue, you'll want to suggest a replacement tire to the customer so that they don't have a future blowout. Now obviously if a customer brings in a tire and it's got a screw or something in it, you're going to want to take a few minutes, check all 4 tires. Make sure that they didn't pick up, you know, other screws, other debris, other stuff that could puncture their tires in one of their other tires as well. Just do it as a courtesy, because the last thing you'd want to do is send them out of here and then they end up having a flat or a blowout on another tire because you didn't take a few minutes to check that. Well guys, that's about all I got for you today. Short and sweet one, but it is something that is going to need to be known by a beginner technician if they're going to be in a dealership or a place that is going to be selling tires. They're going to need to know how to do these things. So hopefully this helps you guys. If you guys have anything to comment about that, by all means, comment below. Let me know. We'll have a good, healthy discussion about whether or not we can plug or patch tires, or if we just need to replace them outright. Just wanted to send a huge shout out to a couple of things, actually. One, all of you guys. I just hit 500 subscribers officially. I know that one time I did say that I was at 500. Wasn't quite there. I was at like 450 or 475, something like that. But we are now officially over 500 subscribers, and that's thanks to you guys. So thank you guys a lot for doing that. I really appreciate it. My second shout out is to a fellow YouTuber by the name of Junk at Work. He gave me a shout out on one of his videos. I believe it was a week ago today, actually. So just want to give him a shout out. You guys need to go over and check out his channel. A lot of cool teardowns of stuff, teachings about stuff. He just did one over basically boiling down how electricity works with a whiteboard, and he's not a very good artist, but he is a really good teacher. So go check him out. And to follow up with another shout out, I'm gonna shout out Old Car Auto Guy. Don't know if you guys can see that on my laptop or not, but he is a really good mechanic YouTuber, does some really good video quality stuff, works up in Canada, so you know, don't hold it against him. But go check out his channel. He's got some pretty awesome stuff over there too, and I'm pretty sure you guys will like it. Just tell him the captain sent you. So until next time, guys, this is Captain Ron signing off. Starting next week, I'm going to be going back to school, and we're going to do a video from Sinclair's campus to show you guys what all goes into being at school, what you guys need to do, what you guys need to know, and just what automotive school actually looks like. So stay tuned for that next week, and we'll see you then. Later.